The first 45 minutes of your morning are more medically significant than most people realize. What you do and what you do not do in that window after waking sets the biological tone for your entire day. It affects your cortisol rhythm, your blood sugar, your joint mobility, your cardiovascular function, and your cognitive sharpness. And for people over 60, this window matters even more because the body's natural recovery and regulatory systems are slower and less forgiving than they were at 40. So today, I am going to give you the exact morning routine I recommend to my patients over 60. Not a wellness influencer's routine. Not a 5 a.m. cold plunge. A clinically grounded, realistic 45-minute sequence that protects your brain, your joints, and your heart, all before you leave the house. The first thing I want you to do, before coffee, before your phone, before anything else, is open a window or step outside for 5 minutes of natural light. I am serious about this being first. Natural light exposure within the first 30 minutes of waking is the most powerful signal your brain receives to anchor its circadian rhythm. It triggers the appropriate morning cortisol spike, which is not something to fear. It is what gives you energy and alertness, and it begins the countdown clock that will allow you to fall asleep easily that evening. People who get morning light consistently report better sleep, better mood, and more stable energy through the day. For people over 60, whose circadian rhythms naturally become less robust, this single habit is one of the highest leverage things you can do. 5 minutes. Outside or near a bright window. No sunglasses. The second step is hydration before anything else enters your body. While you were sleeping, your body was working, repairing tissue, processing, breathing, and you have been without water for 7 or 8 hours. Drink 300 to 500 milliliters of water, ideally room temperature, before coffee or tea. This is not a dramatic detox claim. It is simple physiology. Your blood is slightly thicker after sleep. Your kidneys need fluid to begin clearing overnight metabolic waste. Your joints, which are largely composed of water, need hydration to move without friction. Many of my patients who complain of morning joint stiffness are chronically mildly dehydrated by the time they wake. Drink the water first, every morning, without negotiation. The third step is 10 minutes of gentle joint mobility. Not stretching in the traditional sense. Not yoga necessarily. I mean gentle, controlled movement through the full range of motion of your main joints, ankles, knees, hips, spine, shoulders, and wrists. Circles, gentle bends, slow rotations. The goal here is to move synovial fluid, the lubricating fluid inside your joints, and to warm the surrounding tendons and ligaments before you load them with weight or walking. Cartilage, as I mentioned, receives its nutrients through movement. The first movement of the day matters. Do this seated on the edge of your bed or standing holding a stable surface. It takes 10 minutes. It should never be painful. If it is, you are moving too aggressively. Back off and go slower. The fourth step is a protein-first breakfast. After 60, your body's ability to synthesize muscle protein is reduced. The scientific term is anabolic resistance. It means your muscles need a stronger stimulus to respond to protein than they did when you were younger. One of the most effective compensations is to consume a meaningful amount of protein early in the day, at least 25 to 30 grams at breakfast, rather than saving it all for dinner, which is what most people over 60 unconsciously do. Eggs are ideal. Greek yogurt, smoked salmon, cottage cheese, a protein shake if nothing else is available. This matters for muscle preservation, for satiety, for stable blood sugar through the morning, and for cognitive function. Your brain runs better when it is not riding a blood sugar spike from a carbohydrate-heavy breakfast. The fifth step is a 10-minute walk after eating. Not a long walk, not exercise in the traditional sense, just movement within 20 to 30 minutes of finishing your breakfast. As we have discussed, walking after a meal is one of the most effective tools available for managing post-meal blood sugar. It reduces the glucose spike from breakfast by up to 30%. It gets your cardiovascular system moving gently. It supports digestive motility. And it means that by 9 a.m., you have already done something physically active, which creates a psychological momentum that tends to carry through the day. The sixth and final step, and this one surprises people, is 5 minutes of something that engages your brain deliberately, not passive scrolling, not the news. I mean something that requires active cognitive effort. A crossword, a Sudoku, reading 2 pages of a book, writing 3 sentences in a journal, learning 5 words of a new language. For patients over 60, daily deliberate cognitive engagement is one of the most evidence-backed habits for reducing the risk of cognitive decline. The brain, like the body, responds to use. Neurons that fire together wire together. 5 minutes of active cognitive work in the morning is not a cure for dementia, but as part of a daily habit, it is meaningful, and it takes 5 minutes. So let me summarize the full routine. 5 minutes of morning light immediately upon waking. A glass of water before anything else. 10 minutes of gentle joint mobility. A protein-first breakfast of at least 25 to 30 grams. A 10-minute walk after eating. And 5 minutes of deliberate brain engagement. That is it. 45 minutes. No equipment. No gym. No expensive supplements. Just 6 evidence-based habits stacked together in the right order at the right time of day. I want to challenge you to try this routine for 14 days without skipping a single morning. Not because I want you to report back to me, but because I have seen what happens when patients over 60 commit to a structured morning. Their energy shifts. Their joint pain decreases. Their blood sugar stabilizes. Their mood improves. And they start to feel, for the first time in years, that their body is working with them rather than against them. Save this video so you can come back to it tomorrow morning. And share it with someone who needs a better start to their day, because the morning is where everything begins.